So in today's video, I'll be talking about the top 3 players that the Dallas Mavericks should target in the 2021 NBA free agency. But before we get into the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and hit that notification bell button not to miss out on more awesome NBA content like this. But with that being said, now let's get into the video. So the first player that the Mavericks should look into targeting in free agency would be Norman Powell. So Norman Powell would be the perfect 3-and-D option for the Dallas Mavericks in free agency, as they do have about $20 million potentially that they could spend in the offseason. And he's 27 years old, so he does fit the Dallas Mavericks timeline. And he's been having a breakout year this year, especially with the Toronto Raptors. And he's been keeping that pace up with the Portland Trail Blazers, as he's been averaging 19 points per game this season, while also averaging 3 rebounds and 2 assists, while also bringing in 1.5 steals per game. And he's been shooting 42% from 3, 48.5% from the field, and 86% from the free throw line. And he's a knockdown 3-point shooter, and he's just a scorer in general that can create his own shot. And he definitely plays amazing defense on the other side of the court. So that would be a huge addition if the Mavericks were able to sign him this offseason. And having a starting 5 of Luka Doncic, Norman Powell, Tim Hardaway Jr., Kristaps Porzingis, and Dwight Powell would definitely be an interesting team. They would have a ton of shooting and better defense for sure, but they could definitely make some noise in the Western Conference in the years to come. And Norman Powell is definitely going to ask for a good amount of money long term, so they might have to spend almost all their cap space this offseason in order to land him. And it could end up being worth it because he's just improving every season. But with that being said, now let's hop into player number 2. So the second player that the Dallas Mavericks should look into signing this offseason would be DeMar DeRozan. So DeMar DeRozan is definitely a top-notch veteran player from this offseason, and he would fit this Dallas Mavericks team perfectly. And he is already 31 years old, but he would definitely help out with the scoring. And with the health concerns of Kristaps Porzingis, the Mavericks would definitely be smart to add a big scorer that could help them out. And DeRozan could definitely average over 20 points per game and has definitely been an amazing playmaker for the Spurs so far. So he can basically do it all, as he's averaging a ton of rebounds, a ton of assists, and a ton of points per game. And to be exact, he's actually averaging 21 points per game, 7 assists per game, and about 5 rebounds per game. And of course, DeRozan is definitely not a great 3-point shooter, so they wouldn't be able to space the floor with him, but they definitely have a ton of other options to be able to space the floor, like JJ Redick, Tim Hardaway Jr., Josh Richardson, obviously Luka Doncic, and Kristaps Porzingis. But he's a great playmaker to find other guys that will definitely be helpful for the Mavericks. And I think the Mavericks should look into signing him for about a 2-year, $30 million deal. It would easily be one of the smartest moves the Mavericks have made in a while. And this would have a high potential for them to go very deep in the playoffs, as they would create a big 3 of Doncic, DeRozan, and Porzingis, while having great surrounding pieces like JJ Redick, Josh Richardson, and Tim Hardaway Jr. So with that being said, now let's hop on to player number 3. So the third player that the Dallas Mavericks should try to target in free agency would be Gary Trent Jr. And Gary Trent would definitely be one of the more ideal options as well, as he's becoming one of the top 3-and-D players in the league, as he's been averaging 15 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 steal per game this season, while being a knockdown shooter from 3 at 39% and also averaging about 80% from the free throw line. And he's a lockdown perimeter defender as well. And since the trade to the Raptors, he's been having 2 40-plus point games this season. So he's a true scorer everywhere on the field. And it looks like he just needs to find the right opportunity to be able to showcase all of his talents. And the Mavericks could be that place, as he would be a starter with Luka Doncic, Tim Hardaway Jr., Kristaps Porzingis, and possibly Maxi Kleber. But he will be a pricey option because he definitely will be a restricted free agent. So the Mavericks will probably have to be ready to pay him at least $15 to $20 million per year. And the fit in terms of floor spacing and defense would be perfect for the Mavericks, but the price is probably the problem where I see it. I feel like going the Norman Powell or DeMar DeRozan route would definitely be a better option for them, because those 2 players are the more experienced players on the court. And honorable mentions in this video would go to Duncan Robinson, as he is going to be a restricted free agent, as well as John Collins, which is another restricted free agent, and Mitchell Robinson, as the Mavericks definitely have interest in all of those 3 players as well. And with that being said, let me know what you guys think of this video. Do you guys think the Mavericks should try to target one of these 5 or 6 free agents in the 2021 NBA offseason? But make sure to smash that like button if you did enjoy this video. Subscribe if you're new. It was KNYT here, and I'm out. Peace.